prices are going up. Inflation is increasing. You can't buy as much anymore. Gas prices are going through the roof, not to mention groceries. So we've got to pull in our little purses. We got to save some money. We don't want to have to choose between buying groceries and gas and homeschooling our kids. When times get tough, we all have to go back to pinching our pennies. Hey and hello, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. Thanks for coming, and we're going to talk about saving money. So I've been brainstorming about things that I need to do as a homeschool mom to save money so that I don't have to choose between homeschooling and going to get groceries. Homeschooling is one of those things that we don't get people's taxes to pay for our schooling, right? We are homeschoolers, so we have to foot a lot of bills. And I'm going to share with you all these ways that we can save money. And if you have any great advice of saving money for homeschooling, please put it in the comments below. So the number one, and you know it, you're already going to say it, use the library. Yes, use the library. If you haven't been to the library in a long time, you need to go, because there are a lot of different things that you can find for your kids that you can just borrow. I like to have books. I love books. I love having, they're my little blankies. They're like my little comfort. I love my books. But in times when we need to save money, we need to maybe stop having Amazon be our best friend and go to the library instead. All right, if you find a book that you want, go to the library instead and see if they have it. The next thing, use free online worksheets. There are so many resources that are free. Google in free homeschool worksheets. You'll get a whole bunch of them, okay? Use cheap office supplies. Don't be buying the designer notebooks for your kids when a 99-cent spiral notebook will do just fine. Do index cards. Don't do the fancy dancy this and that. Okay, then print out your own stuff and stop using copy services. And along with this is, if you don't have a printer, maybe that is a good investment that you could buy. And all this money that you're going to save in other areas, you could buy yourself a good printer. Now, you need to remember that the cartridges are super expensive on color printers. You can get a printer for $99, but then the cartridges are like, you have to sell your children to use them, right? You have to sell an arm or a leg because they're so expensive. So this is what I would do. I would use reverse engineering on this, meaning I would look for the cartridges first, that they're good quality, that they work, but they're cheaper, and then whatever printer they belong to, that's the printer I would buy. Okay, along with this is your paper. Now, paper can be pricey, and you go through a lot of it and you use some. So sometimes when you print out things, sometimes they don't work, like they're the wrong size or the color didn't work out. I don't throw those papers away. I save them as scratch paper. I just turn them over and use the back side. That's totally good. And I put them in a little pile, and that's what I sometimes will when I make my own worksheets, or I print off free worksheets. I use those papers. I tell my kids to use the scratch paper if they want to write out something or they're using it for math. Another thing that you could do is use sheet protectors. So you get these worksheets and you put them in sheet protectors, and you have your kids just use dry erase when they're doing these worksheets. Then they have that worksheet to use again or for another child. This is a huge hack that really helps bring down your budget for worksheets. And along with that, use dry erase products. So for your handwriting, for kids to keep practicing their handwriting, and they don't have to waste paper and they just have to erase it. Dry erase. Calendars are great for that you don't have to keep buying calendars, that you can use the dry erase calendars and use them over and over again. Remember, we gotta think reduce, reuse, recycle. Moving on. Shop at dollar stores to buy your supplies. I'm sure a lot of you are doing that already, but go to the dollar stores if you need some new supplies, like pencils and markers and crayons and stuff like that. Go to those kind of stores. Shop at thrift stores for your needs in homeschooling. Sometimes you can find some great things there. It's like a little treasure hunt. So this kind of stuff is kind of exciting. Yeah, it takes a little bit more time, but it's kind of exciting. Also use the marketplaces, the online marketplaces that you can, people that are selling things. I don't know, like the last few years has been this craze of decluttering and minimalism. And so there's a lot of people trying to get rid of stuff. And then you can also look at garage sales. Garage sales are another great place. Now, if you have to buy things new and you're buying school supplies, make sure you are doing the back to school sales. And you can find a lot of things that are cheap during those times. I remember thinking, I don't need to go and shop when all the other, public school families are going, because, but then I realized that's when all the sales were. So don't miss out on the back to school sales. Now, you're going to look for used curriculum, used books on Amazon. If you're going to buy a book on Amazon, look for the used version, okay? If you're going to go to eBay, and along with buying used curriculum on Amazon and eBay and things like that, go to your homeschool used curriculum sales. They're every year. They're usually in the spring, sometimes in the summer. It just depends on where you live. Go on your Facebook groups for your homeschool groups and find out when they are. Attend them. They are so important. There are so many homeschoolers that are really just trying to get rid of stuff, that they are decluttering. They are, they're not homeschooling anymore. Sometimes it's super cheap. Sometimes it could be even free. Along with that, let's say you don't get to the homeschool used curriculum sale. That's such a long word. You could actually find these people. You could find veteran homeschoolers that have probably way too much stuff and want to get rid of it. Or maybe there's a homeschool family that is not going to homeschool anymore. They're going to put their kids back in public school. If you know them, you say, hey, can I come look at your stuff? Can I buy it at a very discounted price? Or they may even just give it to you for free. Now, let me say one thing about co-ops. Co-ops are wonderful. I'm in one. But they are expensive. I have to say, they are very expensive. So what could you do to minimize your cost with that? Well, you could minimize your children's classes, or better, you could probably start your own group. Create your own, and that is so much cheaper. And along with that, you could also be creating your own lending library with each other so that you can pool your resources together and that you can share them. Isn't that a great idea? I think it's a great idea. Okay, I know a lot of us love field trips, but they can be expensive. So just have a rule that you can only do free field trips, or once in a while you can pay to go on a field trip. Field trips are wonderful. They add to our curriculum. They add to our homeschool experience, but they can be expensive. So look for those opportunities where you can get free things, and it works great. Now, this one may seem kind of counterintuitive to homeschoolers, but stay with me. Go to your public schools. Go to the public school, or if you know a teacher or you know the principal or whatever, and say, hey, do you have resources for me? Do you have things that you're just getting rid of that I could, use for my homeschool? Now, let's talk about lessons and activities outside of homeschool for our kids. The taekwondo, the gymnastics, theater lessons, voice lessons, piano, violin, flute, tap dance. There's so many of them. In these kind of times, you're just gonna have to explain to your kids, we can only do one thing each. When you think about lessons, it's not just the lesson prices, but it's everything that goes with those things, like the piano books, the piano competition fees. For dancing, it's the costumes, it's all this. And then you have the gas of going to and from and picking them up. So those kind of extra activities are very expensive on our budgets. So just limit them. You don't have to take them all away. And if they want to pay for them themselves or do a trade with their teacher for babysitting or something like that, then that's great. But really look at those extra lessons and activities that are costing us a lot of money. Now, the other thing is our homeschool rooms, all right? Or our homeschool spaces that we think have to look like the Pinterest perfect homeschool room. You have all these homeschool room reveals and you're thinking, wow, whoa, I know they're cute. I know they're cute. And that is such a great thing for you moms that have that, those little cubes that everybody loves, or that, perfect desk with the perfect matching chairs. That's a lot of money and you don't need to do it. You do not need to have that to homeschool. You've got couches, I'm sure. You've got chairs in your home. You've got a kitchen table, or you've got like tables you can buy, like at Costco, those lifetime tables. Use those. You can put those up and take them anywhere you want. So think about your furniture and think about using what you already have. Another thing, and this is for you homeschool moms, is to learn skills to save money in other areas other than homeschooling. I'm talking about haircuts. If you have boys, you can learn how to cut their hair. I have 5 boys, and I learned how to do it really early on because I was constantly going to the hair cutters. Hey, YouTube, turn it on, you can do it. It's super simple. Okay, along with hair cutting, you can save money on the little things. Now just imagine this. Remember, I know this has happened to you. It's happened to me. You're out and about, you just got done, and oh, there's a Jamba Juice over there. That's what I think I need. And so you go over to Jamba Juice, and then you're thinking, oh my word, I need to wash my car. So then you go to the car wash. And then you're thinking, oh, well, I don't have dinner made and I'm really tired, so let's just go over to Culver's and we're gonna get some shakes and some hamburgers. Right there, we have spent so much money. And so let's learn how to wash our cars at home, okay? Let's learn how to make Jamba Juices at home, right? And learn how to meal plan. Okay, let's talk about curriculum frugality. This is a fun one. Use online free curriculum. There's a ton of it out there. Just Google free online curriculum and you'll find it. Free apps on your tablets. There's a lot of stuff that you can supplement your curriculum if you're not already doing it. Math facts or whatever. There's a ton of stuff. Look for free apps. Use free videos for your curriculum to add to it. If you're a Prime member on Amazon, there's a lot of free educational videos for science, for history, all that stuff. And also, of course, there's the great YouTube. Use YouTube. It is so wonderful. And I know you're probably already doing this, but do it even more. Think about it even more. Okay, free services in audiobooks. I use audiobooks. I like my kids to listen to them. And use them. Use those kind of free resources. And then, guess what? There's a great one. Create your own curriculum. Oh my goodness, really? Yes, you can create your own curriculum, especially in the younger years. Now, when I started homeschooling 23 years ago, there may not have been as much stuff. Let me tell you, there wasn't. There wasn't even an Amazon, people. So you have so many resources that you can create your own. Kindergarten curriculum, easy. You can create it, I'm telling you. It doesn't take that much, but you just kind of have to plan, that's all. You just have to plan. A lot of these things to save money, you kind of have to put in a little effort, but it really does pay in the end, and it saves you a ton of money. Okay, and then the last thing about curriculum is this. You know when you're meal planning and you're supposed to look in your fridge, look in your freezer, look in your pantry, and then take whatever you have and create a week's worth of menus? Think about curriculum that way. Look in your closets, look in your library. What do you have? Create something and use what you have for curriculum, and try not to buy anything new. I challenge you to do that, because that's what I'm going to do this year. I'm going to look in whatever I have, and I'm not going to buy anything new, and I'm just going to use what I have. Repurpose, reuse, recycle. Reuse, reduce, reuse, recycle. You know, we all have to save money. When times get tough, we all have to go back to pinching our pennies and making sure that we can do everything that we want to do and need to do for our families and still come out on top and still have a little bit of money in our little purses. That's what I'm saying. Money, 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 money.